There was an era in my life that I call, before nootropics and after nootropics, BN, AN. It's really funny because you can actually see the grade jump in my grades. So I went from a normal B plus student to A plus. It was about 2022 that I hit my first $1 million, and I didn't grow up in the best circumstances. Sometimes you just need that unfair advantage, which I'll get into in a little bit here. And luckily, when I was looking for, hey, is there something out there that can just kind of help me push through these moments to really pull out the best in me and that creative life force that can help me become better than even I can imagine. Hi, my name is Elle. I am a consultant today in Washington, D.C. And by consultant, I own my own consulting firm, and we help people do great business in the world, around the world, and we help establish pre-emerging markets. And I'm so excited to tell you about the little secret, the magic that makes me so successful and so proud to be where I am today.
Because this is a house of magic.
I feel so cheesy saying that, but I really mean it though, right? In a world where mental health is, they throw a pill at you. It's, how do I not need this pill, but to just exist at a homeostasis? But what can I take to even put me above that baseline?
Here we go.
Sometimes I'm not a girl power kind of person. I'm very internal about my competition. I'm my own competition. My standards are who I was yesterday, who I am today, and really tapping into my own potential. Men are very, very competitive, and I used to work in a very male-dominated environment, and I saw that was something I really admire about men, especially in hyper-competitive environments like the military, business environments, things like that, is they're willing to do whatever it takes to have that unfair advantage.
What are you looking at?
What's out there that gives me that unfair advantage, that puts me ahead of peers, and they're wondering, like, does she have superpowers? Yeah, I want people to wonder if I have superpowers, but I don't want it at the cost of my health and my life. So my day is comprised of a few things. I work for myself. It's my own company. I have a few employees. It's not a big company. It's a small, tight-knit company, but as the boss, I need to be up on my game every single day. I wake up at about sometime between 4 and 5 a.m. I get a quick workout in. I have a home gym, or I go take a quick run outside. I tend to skip breakfast, which is a little problematic sometimes, but I make sure that I drink a lot of water, some good coffee, so energy is really important for me. I don't really have my first meal until around lunchtime, so I guess you could say I intermittently fast throughout my day. So now I hate to brag, but the reality of it is now I'm in a place in life that I didn't know was possible. I started my own business back in 2020, and 2 years later, to say I hit a mile marker that most people never see in their life was absolutely extraordinary. I'm sure my mom still doesn't believe me. Damn! I also taught myself French, and I was bored and decided that since my company is an international company that's focused on the world and bringing business and commerce across the globe to people who need it, I decided that I needed to learn another language. I already speak two. I'm working on English. I speak Arabic, and I also taught myself French as well.
Bonjour, Jean.
Oh, look at you.
In terms of working out, I was never a fan of working out. I used to be in the military, and that's kind of where I developed a taste, a passion, if you will, for making sure that I'm fit. Back in the day when I was active duty, I had to, I had motivation, I was younger, it was a decade ago, and somebody would always tell me when to go work out, where to go work out, what workouts to do, and after that I've had to kind of develop my own patterns and, these routines, and I'm not gonna lie, I was not naturally built for that. I now have a set routine that's built in, and I think I use quite a few peptides that help me maintain that motivation and maintain that regularity. First time I'd heard of nootropics was this movie. I watched the movie Limitless. And I just remember thinking, man, if that was like a legal thing you could just buy, imagine how great life would be.
What?
My friend had mentioned that, he was taking this coding boot camp at the time, and back then, it wasn't that long ago, but it was like the early 2000s, like 15, 14-ish, and nobody was really taking anything outside of just drinking a ton of coffee and Red Bull. He's like, yeah, I take Piracetam. I'm like, what is Piracetam? So I was curious and I tried it. I got a lot of work done. I was in a master's program at the time, and I just remember just powering through everything, and I was just done. And then I had more things that I could have done a little bit more. And I thought I was not going to be able to sleep, because historically people were doing other things to get this type of feeling and productivity.
It's going to be a long night. You may as well get some sleep.
Sleep? I can sleep.
And I crawled into bed thinking, great, I'm going to stay up for the next 8 hours. And I didn't. I had taken the Piracetam in the morning, and later on that evening, I just was able to go to sleep. I drank my chamomile and called it a day, and the next morning I woke up. I was actually getting hundreds, and I'd never actually gotten 100 on anything. In high school, in undergrad, and in now my master's program. And you know, master's, it's a decidedly difficult educational program. I graduated with a 3.9 GPA, and I asked myself, why not 4.0? And the only reason for that is because my first year, I just didn't have this secret superpower.
Sadly, yes.
Fast forward, I really liked the Piracetam, and I remember looking online for other things. Oh, on Reddit, that's what it was. I remember looking on Reddit and finding out that people who'd switched from Piracetam to Noopept. And again, being the adventurous person that I am, I got curious about Noopept. And that was the beginning of a very long love affair with nootropics, and kind of diving deeper into this world of peptides and nootropics. And that's where I discovered my love for this guy here, Seroton. I was on Reddit, as one does, and I'm secretly looking at people's experience with Noopept, and they said, hey, if you pair it with choline, Seroton, it's absolutely amazing. I can't forget the first time my packages came in, because in the US, we have so much that you can just buy and it comes from other American states, that I just got this package and it was wrapped and it had Cyrillic all over it. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I was dating my boyfriend at the time, and he thought, he was very confused. He's like, hey, what did you buy from Russia? Is there something we should talk about? And I'm like, it did not look like a typical FedEx package, but it was Christmas, honestly. And yeah, it was my choline, and it was my Noopept Seroton, and it's a choline supplement that I use every single day. And what's really cool about it is mixing that, taking that along with the Noopept, I can accomplish anything I want that day. I come up with ideas that I couldn't have conceived of days prior. I would take my 1 Alpha-GPC, choline, my Seroton a day, plus 1 up to 2 Noopept pills, and they're tiny little 10 milligram pills, I wanna say. And so that would carry me throughout the whole day. I'm out of my Noopept right now, but you can see my choline, Seroton right there. And even when I don't have a very mentally heavy day, I still will take my choline supplement, because that keeps your brain healthy. One of the things that I tried actually is Mildronate, and Mildronate helped me get into cardio and really learn to love the idea of running outside, or running because I should run and it's good for your body, from what I hear. I went from being somebody who hated running. I did not see, why I should put my body in a fight or flight situation. I would go into a genuine panic whenever I had to run. So the military, that part was not my best friend. And with Mildronate, it really calmed my nervous system down. It really helped me tap into a part of myself that was not only able to run very well and effectively, but run because now I can enjoy running. And that also translated into benefits into other aspects of my working out as well. So when I now do HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training, my heart rate can keep up and I can feel productive without going into that panic mode, because my heart just can't keep up. Like I've been to war, I've faced the scariest of things, and yes, yeah, when you're taking something that directly impacts your heart, I suspect there's risk associated. I did do a ton of research. If I recall correctly, it was Maria Sharapova that got the big no-no from for having Mildronate in her system at the time.
Is there another question?
But I'm not a professional athlete. I'm not getting tested for doping. I'm not in the military. It's not illegal. I read about it because Maria Sharapova got in trouble for it. So I was like, wait, now I'm curious. I want to know what she got in trouble for, because if she's that caliber of athlete and she's trying it and she's a woman, why can't I do it? And the way it works is it strengthens your heart and gives you a cardiovascular boost and just makes your heart be able to work harder and faster over a longer period of time. I don't have any heart issues. I don't have history of heart issues. I was pursuing physical fitness goals that mimicked some of the intensity of tennis, and so that's kind of the parallel. I started small. I made sure that I wasn't doing anything risky. I told my doctor looked at me quizzically because every so often I'd tell my doctor, hey, I'm doing something new, and he's like, please don't die, just please don't. I didn't, I'm doing great. I'm doing the opposite of dying, I'm thriving. So it was 100% of the Barbra Streisand effect for sure. I can see why it would be an unfair advantage in a professional environment. Being trapped inside, I had no reason to really put on makeup, and that's where I got kind of skin curious, if you will. And of course, Cosmic Nootropic being the Amazon of biohacking in some ways, I just saw this little brown amber glass bottle, and I got curious, and it was called SkQ1 Antioxidant. And we know antioxidants are great for you. I know that in your body, they do great things to make sure that your body doesn't deteriorate from the inside. And this little bottle was, it was a topical treatment, and I don't like putting actives on my skin a lot. I just, simple routine, water, soap, and moisturizer, and maybe some things. And when I turned 30, that's when I started really getting into this, how do I preserve my body? How do I keep it in its best form as long as possible? Not to prevent aging, but to age smoothly and gracefully. I used this SkQ1 and I put it in my moisturizer and along with sunscreen, and what I saw was my skin just glowing. And every girl loves it when you get carded, if you will, to see if you're of legal age to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. I've been using it now for about a year or so. It was a couple months ago where I was asked for a second form of ID.
Let me see your ID.
And he was actually younger than me, so I'm looking at him, and he's maybe in his late 20s, I am in my mid 30s, and he's like, can I see a second form? Because I don't, so I showed him my second form, which is my credit card, and he said,
What?
my husband laughed, I laughed, and it was very validating. Now I just feel my skin is very supple, it's moisturized, it's wonderful, it fares well wonderfully in the winter when things can get very dry and complicated. I'm 34 years old. It's been great. While a part of me just wants to keep all of this good news to myself, I did share it with a lot of my friends, and I'm just like, hey, look, dude, brilliant, beautiful, healthy, longer. You should try this stuff. And I feel like it though. I'm not in my 20s, but I feel like it. And it's, you know, when I'm with my girlfriends in their 20s, I feel like I know a lot more. It's legitimately people having conversations with me where they're my age, but they're talking to me like I'm younger than them. I'm just like, we graduated high school the same year, so I don't know why you're talking to me like you have all this experience over me. And that's where I discovered my love for this guy here, Seroton. And again, this is not a plug. It's actually empty and it's on reorder right now, but it's Seroton and it's a choline supplement that I use every single day. What's really cool about it is mixing that, taking that along with the Noopept, I can accomplish anything I want that day. I come up with ideas that I couldn't have conceived of days prior. And I was on Reddit, as one does, and I'm strictly looking at people's experience with Noopept, and they said, hey, if you pair it with choline, Seroton, it's absolutely amazing. Out of my Noopept right now, but you can see my choline, serotonin right there. And even when I don't have a very mentally heavy day, I still will take my choline supplement because that keeps your brain healthy. I would take my 1 Alpha-GPC, choline, my serotonin a day, plus 1 up to 2 Noopept pills, and they're tiny little 10 milligram pills, I want to say. And so that would carry me throughout the whole day. With cerebral lysin plus the Alpha-GPC and the Noopept, I didn't have to look. I could just look at my bank account. I could see my client portfolio growing. I could see the relationship with my fiance. I mean, I was also planning a wedding, so my now husband growing, and now he became a fan of it, and now he's starting to take Alpha-GPC. And so I became this sort of like evangelist by not selling, but just being this person that is so different from the person she was in a master's program, staying up late, to somebody who's just powering through, creating businesses. I mean, this morning the cocktail was it was Alpha-GPC, some Noopept. I'm gonna call out Cosmic right now. You can cut this out if you'd like, but you guys are out of Alpha-GPC, so I'm being very particular about the days that I take it, because I think Cosmic has the best formulations out there. That middle ground between it's healthy, your body recognizes it, your body knows it. It's artificial because it's man-made, right? But it's not artificial in the sense that it's foreign to your body. And that, to me, was very, very critical. There was a time in my life where I was just doing whatever it took to make it throughout my day. And I didn't really have help short of my relationships and sheer willpower. But as we're well aware, willpower can only take you so far. And I'm so excited to tell you about what is my cheat sheet in life, right? It's peptides. It's peptides that I found on Cosmic Nootropics. Those amazing peptides that have really changed my life, from my before peptides, my before Nootropics era, to my after Nootropics, after Peptides era, and you'll see, the difference was extraordinary, night and day. I'm not putting myself in a situation where I'm risking something for a short-term gain. It's a long-term gain from beginning, ideally throughout my life.